attention. We're broadcasting an important message. We shall go on to the end. We shall fight on the seas and the oceans. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be.
So, greetings fellow captains, and welcome back to another episode of World of Warships with the Hive Hand. And you just looked at the video recently launched by Wargaming. They put it out this morning, bit of a surprise to no one, and it seems to very strongly indicate, with the overemphasis on air, that in fact the British aircraft carriers are going to be coming to the game on the next update. So I thought this might be a good time to delve into the history a little bit of aircraft carriers. So the earliest recorded incident of a ship using any sort of airborne operations actually occurred way back in 1806 when Lord Cochrane of the Royal Navy launched kites from the British frigate HMS Implacable to drop propaganda leaflets against Napoleon Bonaparte. They were written in French, attached to the kites. Strings were set alight, and as the strings burned through, the leaflets were released and landed on French soil. So a couple of other countries, namely the Austrian Navy, the American Navy, also done some experimentation and developed some form of balloon carriers or balloon tenders during the First World War. But it wasn't until the invention of seaplanes, this was back in March 1910, with the French Faber Hydrovation, led development of the earliest designed aircraft carriers, albeit aircraft equipped with floats. So they were very limited. So technically, the French Navy Fondeur was the first seaplane carrier. It was that was commissioned. It participated in some tactical exercises in the Mediterranean in 1912, and basically it carried seaplanes under hangars, and they were lowered into the sea with a crane, and then the seaplanes would take off from the water. Whereas HMS Hermes, I think, is really speaking the very first aircraft carrier, temporarily converted to an experimental seaplane carrier in May of 1913. It was the first ship to carry actual seaplanes, so planes without floats, and it was an experimental carrier for the Royal Navy. She was originally laid down as a merchant ship, but then very quickly converted to be a seaplane carrier. She was sunk by a German submarine in October 1914, and then the first official fully designed aircraft carrier from the ground up was actually then the US Navy's USS Mississippi. And that sort of brings us neatly on and into the British line of aircraft carriers, because obviously, I don't know, nothing's been confirmed, so this is purely speculation, but it's a very good educated guess that I expect the Tier 3 to be the Tier 4 carrier on PC, which is in fact HMS Hermes, the very first actual proper aircraft carrier, despite it being a converted merchant ship. Tier 5, so there's really two options here. There's HMS Furious or HMS Ark Royal. Ark Royal was quite a famous vessel. It's premium on PC. It was victim to the Scharnhorst, and very famously the city of Leeds were partnered with the Ark Royal. And when the Ark Royal was destroyed, the city of Leeds themselves actually, like, not the, the city is in the council, but the actual people of Leeds all basically bundled a bunch of cash together, and they actually raised enough to build an entirely new aircraft carrier to replace Ark Royal. But I do expect that we're going to see Ark Royal as the first and probably only premium aircraft carrier for the United Kingdom. For our tier 7, we've got two potential options. There's Implacable or Indomitable, which are currently tier 8 aircraft carriers on PC. They do also have HMS Audacious, but that's tier 10. So let's be honest, if or when legendary aircraft carriers comes, that's where I'd expect to see Audacious. So granted, this is all speculation. Put some interesting pictures up of the balloon carriers and some of the British aircraft carriers in the background. Obviously, the British aircraft carriers were quite famous for having armoured decks as well, which was a British Navy sort of invention to protect the decks of their ships, which made them far less susceptible to taking damage from aircraft. So another speculative point is, with the British aircraft carriers, is this where we're going to see rocket attack planes introduced? I guess we'll find out very shortly. So thank you very much for stopping by. Do hope you found this little speculative chat informative, and as always, until next time, take care.